Burns now with a cross. This is Vernon! Vernon scores! Grimsby Town is over! Utter delirium at Blundell Park! Charles Vernon! Delivered, far post, touchdown!
Penalty, great composure. Ryan Mbumo, he doesn't miss, does he?
The customary short run up for Brian Mbumo. Stuttering run up, and here's the crossbar! Manchester United are out! Brian Mbumo has rattled the crossbar!
This is TNT Sports' Adam Summerton, and you're listening to Three Fish on the Shirt.
So, welcome to this week's Three Fish on the Shirt. We've got in the pod again, we've got Steve and Ross, as usual. Great to see you guys. You all right?
Yeah. No, not too bad.
Nice one. Been a busy cup week this week. We'll come to that in a second, and we've got a special treat as well. I'll just remind you of this thing that Ross said in an episode recently. If you look on in the early part of this season's titles, there's a Mike Brolly goal from a tight angle. That's the second goal against Everton. It's a bit grainy, but it's definitely there. But
Who scored the Everton goal? Do you remember?
Brian Kidd.
Brian Kidd, who was the assistant at United.
He was, yeah.
And
Fun
United.
fact about Mike Brolly: when I was at secondary school, he taught me science.
Did he?
Ah, right, he was a teacher, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to science.
Mike Brolly.
Yeah. Can you get him on? Is he still? Are you still in touch?
I'm not, but you never know.
You never know.
Game on.
And just to follow up on that, that's what, a couple of weeks ago, we have got a very special guest in Mike Brolly, nonetheless. So well done, Rossi, on sorting that out for us. So we'll cover off our cup stuff from this week, and then we've got a special guest in Mike Brolly to reminisce about the last time that Town won a league championship, which is something that only people of Steve and my era have seen. Sorry, Ross.
A long time ago.
Not wanting to be non-inclusive, but unlucky, mate. Thank you this week again to our sponsors, Winner Chicken Dinner, who we featured last week to cover off their website and the like. So thanks to them. And thanks also to Resulties, who are in the competition with us in their website and on their Instagram. So if you go to their Instagram, you can see this. We're giving away 2 of those T-shirts. If you head over to their Instagram, follow the instructions on their post about the Man United T-shirt. They've got the 12-11 branding on the front and the date, and then you can see this on the detail. There's all the details of the match, the scorers of the penalties, the teams, and all the rest of it. So it's a great little giveaway. And also they've got a discount code for 20% off on their website. If you use the code 3fish on the shirt, you get 20% off if you want to buy one. So please head over to Resulties and support that. It helps them, it helps us with just, not financially, but just with coverage. It gets our name out there, and it's also in conjunction with our sponsor, Winner Chicken Dinner. So welcome, guys. Thank you. Sorry for all that pre-text, but we've got a great episode tonight. We've got the matter of Town v Brentford to cover off, and then yesterday's game against Ebbsfleet. So first things first. Brentford rolled into town. The Premier League rolls into town again. And this time we got a proper Premier League team, Ross. What did you make of it?
Yeah, they're very well suited, aren't they? They're very hot at the moment, as they say, in the Prem. Yeah, I mean, they're so organised compared to what we've had before, and obviously Man United beforehand. They just showed how it should be done, I guess, for a Premier League side. But yeah, I mean, Grimsby lads tried to put a shift in for the first 20 minutes, play really well, and then mistake come and after that the heads dropped, and that's about it. But they just outplayed us, and fair play to them.
My comment on my notes was that they were everything in a Premier League team that Man U weren't.
Yeah.
They were polished, they were slick, they were fast, But as you say, 20 minutes in, you probably would have said that we were holding our own at least. Could have gone in front. Even Corey's header got on target. But an uncharacteristic mistake by Cameron McJanet in the 22nd minute led to the first goal, and they scored again 4 minutes later. And then it just knocked the stuffing out of us, and they really turned it on after that. Steve, you were quite buoyed by the opening from town. Were you hoping for another Man United?
Well, for me, it started. I think I said to you, this is like the Man United performance. We're all over them. They're not been in our box hardly at all, and we were well on top after 21 minutes. I think it was. I looked at the clock, and then they got the goal, but we couldn't have started any better. We needed to score in those 20 minutes, and then we didn't. And we tried to play out from the back. That was the first goal, wasn't it? And Janet slipped, or he didn't quite get the ball, and then we just can't do that against these teams.
And that's the second in 2 games where Cameron McJanet had slipped up, which is again uncharacteristic of him, as we said in the Crew game last week. He slipped up, and you hardly notice him some weeks, not because he's poor, but because he played so well and so efficiently.
Yeah, I mean, Pim, perhaps he can't. Maybe should have played it to him, because it was a lot of players around him, and they were so quick.
Yeah,
I don't think we realised how quick they were.
And they scored again within a few minutes. The second goal, the striker Odawara, was it? I'm not very good with names at the best of times.
Utara,
that was it. Yeah. He ran round Harvey Rogers both ways at the same time, didn't he? Pretty much got the ball across, and Lewis Potter was there just to knock it in. And at 2-0, you thought, the writing's on the wall, and it only kind of got worse from there. But they were so fast and slick and fast passing, quick, everything about them that was Premier League quality. The fans were louder than Man United. The players weren't throwing themselves on the floor, moaning when there was a crunching tackle went in. They just let the football do the talking, and I thought that was a really positive thing from them. And I don't think anybody went away feeling that that was crap and town were rubbish. It was just that we've done well to get here, and bravo, we've gone out to a class outfit. Did you manage to sort of suspend your disappointment for that, Steve?
When the third goal went in, I thought that was it really, wasn't it? Just keep the score down. I think it was going to be, but I thought they were thoroughly professional, really good team, and every player. I mean, that team, the team they played yesterday, Brentford. There was nobody in it hardly, about 2 or 3 players.
Yeah.
So what squad they've got?
Squad depth they've got, yeah. And Ross, you're a bit like me. When we lose, you're quite happy to say, "Well, shite."
I am.
But did you manage to suspend your disappointment for the sake of being proud?
Yeah, I mean, I do my review times, which I do after every game, and I don't think you can really be angry. We had a really good cut run. Like I say, we've got not Man United out, we've got Sheffield Wednesday out, who's Championships hard. Well, I know they've got their stuff going on, but you still got to beat what's in front of you.
Yeah.
Like I said, like Steve said, Brentford and we're a professional side, and they just outdone us in every perspective on the pitch. And
we didn't go out with a whimper as such, did we? We had a go, and once they got the measure of us, that was it.
Like I said, that first 20 minutes, I think if we had a goal, it would have been a whole different story.
Yeah,
I think if
we needed
Corey
it
gets
to be
a
a bit
header or
chaotic, didn't we? And them to be down and in a panic. And
I do think if we get a goal, then it might have changed it and put the game on its head and maybe different circumstances. But obviously we didn't. And it is what it is. Brentford fans, like you say, they were really good. I thought Tuesday night they were singing songs and we were singing songs back to them, and it was just it's a disappointing result, but it wasn't a bad night.
And that's something you miss about the atmosphere at town sometimes. Not to do with the club or anything, but to do with the fact that you've got Harrogate turning up with 50 or whatever. Or like yesterday with Ebbsfleet. No disrespect to Ebbsfleet, it was a great following from them, to be fair. But the Osmonds shut. There's all just seats there. you lose something of that atmosphere, and you think back to the days of yore where you've got your Chesterfields and your Notts counties turning up with a full 1,200 and having a bit of a ding dong. It really adds to the atmosphere, and they were everything that you wanted from an away end. And at the end, I got the sense that there was a lot of respect between the two clubs as well in terms of the management and the players and what have you, and it all just almost felt a bit too lovey-dovey at one point, up to the point where there was a guy on Brentford on Twitter was saying, "Oh, this has been really nice. It's almost too sickly." He says, "But it's all right. Somebody just called me a cunt."
Yeah, sounds all right.
So I'll have to crack myself out there, Ross.
Yeah,
it reminded me of the games we used to go to, Dave. When it was a full house when we was in the championship playing Birmingham's and all them.
Yeah.
And they were bringing foot.
You mean before Ross was born?
Again. Yeah, before Ross was born, yeah.
Just you wait till later on when we're talking to Mr. Brolly and we ask him what you were like at school.
Well, if Town win the championship this year, you'll have to wait another 46 years then for the next one.
Yeah.
And you'll be on the. You'll be keeping three fish. You'll be keeping three fish going like we have, and you're talking to Charles.
We're
just bringing on Charles Vernham, who's now 74. Yeah. What did you think scoring against Man United, Charles?
Yeah, I'll have some hosts on, and they won't have a clue what I'm on
about. That's if you can get them to join the hologram call. That you're on your hoverboard.
Yeah.
Anyway, so proper job done on us. Decent crowd in, nearly 9,000 again. Just over 8,500 in there. Good for Town to get that sort of every seat taken in Brundle Park again. And it is a fantastic place when it's like that.
By the end of that, it was about 5,000-6,000 because we had fans that were left.
Yeah, I was really disappointed.
Yeah, another rant.
It's a good point, and I had a bit of a rant about it last week.
Yeah, so did I.
When
they were singing "Is There a Fire Drill," weren't they?
And so were we. We were singing it to some of ours,
and then we
weren't we?
started singing it to all the fans that were leaving.
Yeah,
and they were looking up at us, thinking, "What are they singing?"
And we were saying, "Don't come back on Saturday," and guess what? They didn't. Anyway,
it winds me up. Like I said, I did it on my review, mentioned it, and if you can't support them, when they've lost, they've heavily lost. Don't get me wrong, but the cup run we've had, you should be clapping them players off anyway, regardless.
I agree.
Stay to the end.
I think plenty of people did, and I think the other thing from the game that was noticeable for me was we made a few subs, get a few people on. Geezer Churi came on, looking a bit more beefed up. Did you notice that, Ross? Did you think he looked a bit more beefy?
Yeah, he does look a bit beefy, doesn't he? Yeah, he. I don't know what he's been doing. He's been with Faroe Island, hasn't he? With them quite a lot recently, so maybe they've fed him a bit.
I think Steve might have a bit of insight into that from David Artell. You've picked up on in Artell interviews about Churi and his regime, haven't you?
Yeah, well, he's been when he Matt Dean asked him, he's bulked up a bit. He sort of went, I don't know, is he? What David Artell does, and then he says, "Oh yeah. He's been he's not done it in the last 3 weeks. He's been doing it over a period. They've all got their own training plans, and that was part of it."
I think that's been part of the programme to bring him up to speed with the to build him up strength wise as well as not just bring him in and lob him straight in the team. And we were hoping that then we would take the result on Tuesday into Saturday and we were to be the Brentford this time, and hopefully that was going to be the case as we went from probably the biggest switch of league position opponents that Brundle Park ever seen, from playing a Premier League outfit on Tuesday to playing a National League South team in a top level competition, competitive competition. Within a few days, and that saw the visit of Ebbsfleet yesterday, as it turns out. We first chatted about the number of changes. You were hoping for wholesale changes, Ross. Steve sent us a note on some Singleton Birch paper that confused us a little bit, because we thought Singleton and Birch were in at number 1 and 2, and then Pym was playing left back, But anyway,
I saw that. I thought, oh god, that's going to confuse them.
We got to the bottom of that, and Steve was expecting sort of half a dozen changes. At the finish, he made 4 changes in the midfield, predominantly. Rose up front for Cabia, and it was a bit more of a strong lineup than you were expecting, Ross.
Yeah, I mean, 5 out of the 11 at the start were players that I mentioned, saying I reckon they'll be in the starting 11, and the rest of them were, just mainly first teamers. I mean, I think Artell come out and said he wasn't really going to change a lot. And it doesn't matter what team he was coming up against, whether they're a lot higher than us or a lot lower. He wanted to still go out there with a strong team, which is fair. I get it. But I just feel like we could have rested a few more legs, regardless. I mean, Jaden Sweeney, he's now, got knocked as soon as he come on.
I turned to Steve and said, yesterday, I said, Ross is going to be pissed off.
Yeah. Yeah. But it worked, but I do feel like we could have rested a lot more players than we had.
Ebbsfleet turned out with their side, 180 fans, which was a half decent following from them. Made a fair bit of noise, and they came out and did a little bit what we did to Brentford to us. I thought they looked the better side in the first half. Ross, what was your take on first half?
Yeah, we were abysmal. I think they were the better side. I thought they looked like the League Two side, and we were the National League self. Don't know what it was. We weren't clicking, and I thought, oh god, here we go. Like something's going to happen. Something did happen.
We're too pedestrian. We just moved.
Yeah.
What we needed to do was get the ball down and play it in our patterns from side to side, and until the gaps appeared. But the problem was we were doing it, but we were doing it about slow-mo, half pace.
Yeah,
so that it was easy to follow. They were just trotting around, just sitting in a couple of banks of 4 strikers, just trotting about, trying to get him in the gaps. And there was no finding the space. And sure enough, coming out of an attack, they transition across in a diagonal manner. You saw this goal a couple of times in the period when we struggled. And they find the man running through on the right-hand side. Seaman, was it? No jokes? No jokes, please. No. We did them all yesterday. Seaman was all over the pitch. Yeah, we heard them all yesterday. And he came through into the box, and before he had much time to think about it, had a pot shot, and Pim dived over it. It seemed. Thought Pim could have done better with that. I've not criticised Pim too much because sometimes he's been when he's been exposed, but he should have done better there.
No, he should have saved it. Yeah, sure, error like.
He was fuming, wasn't he?
He was. He kicked the ball over the pontoon, didn't he?
Yeah, Ross mentioned that in his piece to TikTok.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't realise it was one of the balls from the stands at the side. I thought it was one. Didn't one at the back of the net?
Yeah, no, yeah. I saw it go over, and Kerry, who sits behind me, went, Pim's just gone and launched the ball over the pontoon. I went, was that what that was? Just saw a ball just going over.
Yeah, I saw him go and pick it up. I just assumed it was one out the net, and then he's launched it. Yeah, we want, and that kind of tells you he thinks what we think that he should have saved it.
Oh, from my angle, I don't know what your angles were like. What it looked like from your end when he hit it. I don't know where.
I thought he'd saved
it. Looked like where you sit,
and so did Ebbsfleet fans.
Thought he'd saved it. Oh, he saved that. And next thing, he's in the back of the net. We're like, what the hell happened?
The weird thing was the Ebbsfleet fans didn't cheer until their players were celebrating in the corner. It was weird.
It was a delay, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, I heard it again on the TV last night. It was like, goal. Yay!
Yeah, that's it. But at least they shot. We were scared of shooting.
Yeah.
We never had a shot on target.
But every time Harvey Rogers is on the edge of the box, everybody goes, shoot! I'm thinking of him.
Yeah, should have heard me. Should have heard me. I went, no, and shoot.
Yeah. And when he did
shoot in the second half, and he went skied over the.
It was 4 points to Wigan, wasn't it?
That's why he doesn't shoot.
Yeah. But also, they gave us a bit of a scare when their player went over in the penalty area. Ross, what was your view of it, and what did you think it was?
Penalty. I don't know how he's not giving it, to be honest. From my angle, I could see it straight in.
One vote for Penn, then. Steve?
Yeah.
To be honest, didn't see it. So,
Bloody Arsene Wenger
On the
again.
fence.
Oh, he's going to end up one of them big puffer jackets that he can't do up, isn't he?
I'll bring it. Yeah.
Ross, you were going to say something else about it?
Yeah, so from my angle, I said to the people around me, I said, that's penalty. And that's it. It's 2-0 down. And he didn't give it. And I thought, how's he not giving it? Janet again, maybe costing us a goal. Well, last couple of weeks, I don't know what's going on with Cameron, but he's seems to be giving a lot away at the minute.
Yeah.
You know, Crew away, did the slip. There's another game where he made a mistake. Well, Brentford obviously slipped. And then this one, yesterday, where players come across him and he's put his leg out and he's gone straight over. And I really don't know how he ain't giving it. But
Well, I've listened to
I think he got away with it.
Listen to the Ebbsfleet players' account, and then the manager and the manager's told them. Sorry, the referees told them that it was he went over the leg as opposed to him being fouled. So they're saying he initiated contact and he was kind of looking for it. I thought his dive was a bit theatrical, but maybe that's let him down. I don't know, but I will take it, mate. We've seen many given that shouldn't have been given.
Yeah, we have.
And we'll have it.
Yeah.
But only a couple of minutes or a few minutes later, all things turn on the head yet again. There's a bit of play across the park from right to left. We go out to the right, we bring it back left. Gets played out to Rodgers. I think he knocks it forward. Comes back out to Walker on the wing, and just as he's controlling it, he knocks it back across in front of the dugouts. In comes the appropriately named Ben Chapman, not the Ben Chapman we know, but another Ben Chapman, and just takes him out. They're absolutely horrified that he gets a red card. I'll ask the same again. Steve, red or not?
Double red.
Double red. Ross, you had the best view of it, Ross.
All day long. I don't know how the manager. He was moaning for at least 10 minutes after telling about it.
Yeah.
But you can't get away with that. He stood up and
You've
got to get the ball and miss the man in that case, haven't you? If you go in,
I like the way the player went like that, didn't he? He said,
he didn't get the ball at all. Nowhere near it.
Never knew.
No, from where we saw it, I was thinking that's a red, straight red.
You can actually see how we saw it here. Now, this is what it looked like from our point of view, and that is a red card all day long. And on the TV, you can see it. It's right in front of the dugouts. Their manager is right, and then he's got all the fake sort of, oh no, not a pen, not a pen. It wasn't a pen. Definitely not a penalty. Red card. And I don't know where the complaints come from. The manager in his interview seemed to suggest that Walker had made a meal of it. I'm not having that. I'm not having that.
You can't make a meal of it.
It was a bad one. It was a bad one. So we go in 1-0 down at the break, and they have to come out with 10 men. And we hoped at that point then that it was going to be a foregone conclusion. We did get going better. I never thought we were well beaten in the second half, but we got the job done, and it was a fairly competent sort of effort at it, I think. But certainly not a 5-star performance. And on just after half time, 53 minutes, Rose managed to get on the end of a ball. There's a fox in the box. Ball comes across, gets battered around a bit, and then he's really in the places it gets fired back in to just pop it into the net. And relief around Blundell Park as we got to 1-1. Did you get any other observations from that goal, Ross? The build-up or anything like that?
Yeah, I don't know if you can get it on the goal as the footage, but before the ball gets crossed in, one player that I will say I thought played quality when he come on. I thought he played it really well. Probably the best game he's played. I thought Clark Adore played pretty well for the game. But if you actually watch, the ball that he plays through to get that cross in must take about 5 Ebbsfleet players out of the game just from one free ball. It was just like a Mauyus or a Crew, where he set Walker up for that first goal. It was exactly the same ball, and we were saying around us, that's 10 out of 10 ball straight away, straight through, crossing, and then obviously Rosie's where he is all the time, and seems to be right place, right time, Rosie, when he plays.
Well, and David Artell described that as a skill. So being just having the half, it's not coincidence, is it, that these guys end up in the right place at the right time? And it kind of happened again a few minutes later, only a couple of minutes later. similar sort of circumstances, ball pinging around in the box. I think it's this one where ball comes in. Harvey Rogers sticks his leg out the back and flicked it on, and it would have been cleared probably if he hadn't flicked it on. I think it went out then to the other side. Gets played back in. I think Rose has a shot saved, and then McJanet's there to head it home for 2-1.
Is that the one that Vernon did his Vernon shot? And he missed
I think it might have been,
The Vernon dummy, I've got it down here. He went to shoot first time and he totally fluffed it.
Yeah.
And then the Ebbsfleet player sort of went.
Yeah,
and then
Rose has a shot. And
yeah, a great dummy by Vernon.
Yeah, 2-0. Nice for McJanet to get a goal. And there's a picture of Harvey Rogers looking up, celebrating the goal as McJanet's put it in. And from the side, you can just see this massive bulging cheek of McJanet. I'm thinking, what the bloody hell's that? And I've since watched the footage back, and as he scored, he blows his cheeks out massive, as if in relief. So I wonder if that's a little bit about his recent form and a bit of relief. Good goal that. At the end of the day, they cost the amount to the same as a worldie, don't they? And all of a sudden the game's on its head. Do you think, Ross, at that point, that Ebbsfleet's spirit was a little bit broken after that?
Yeah, I think so. I think once we changed that second half, I believe, looking at the team, I don't know if I'm right, but I believe did he change to like a 3-5-2?
Yeah,
second half.
Yeah, and he says he changed it just before the key tweak to the game. Artell claims is just before half time, at about half an hour.
Yeah,
and he said
I think
might even have led to the red card. He said.
Yeah, I do think.
I thought I said in the pontoon to Sean at half time. I said I think he might change it to 3 at the back because they're down to 10 men. You don't need a back 4. You just put 3, and he did in a sort of a way. It was because I was watching it. It wasn't sort of obvious, but he had changed it maybe at the end of the first half.
Yeah,
and definitely in the second half.
But he didn't want to elaborate too much. But I think it's probably something a little bit more subtle than that half-time change before that. But yeah, nonetheless, we then crack on another 10 or so minutes. All the goals for Town were scored within 14 minutes. And Rose gets another one. Follow-up from some great play around the box. Chori has a pop from the edge of the box. Nice shot. Probably would have gone in maybe anyway. But Danny Rose, fox in the box as he is, basically sent the keeper the wrong way to get his second, and really then put the goal beyond doubt. Nice to see Danny come back and get 2.
Yeah, because he didn't do a lot first half, I didn't think. But he was good in the end. Captain's back.
I think he's finding it more difficult this season, coming in off the back of a long injury after he probably had a decent pre-season or whatever he did. He's had that intermittent sort of period of playing. It can't be easy for him, and he's not getting any younger. So it's a challenge, but it is good to see that he can come in and still be in the right place. Something to be said about Kent teams in Blundell Park and their discipline. 3 red cards in 3 weeks. I'm sure Gillingham fans will be getting back on the phone to us shortly to complain. But we're in the draw for the second round, and that takes place tomorrow, or whatever time you listen to this, Monday, at 5:45 before the Tamworth v Orient game, which is on TNT Sports, TNT Ultimate and Discovery Plus, and also on the TNT YouTube channel. And Ross, what number are we? You were mentioning it this morning on your...
We are number 28.
Number 28. I've got a friend who is a Buxton fan. Hello, Keith. Buxton are 29. So I asked him if he fancies a face-off. But yeah, so that's the draw. We're in the bag for the next round.
What do we want? What draw do we want?
Oh, go on, Ross. What are you after?
I would like an away day, as per usual.
Yeah. Somewhere big or somewhere
for
small?
Me, it's got to be big, I think. Just why not? I would like to go Luton or Bolton.
Right. Okay.
Been to Bolton in the cup, haven't we, Dave? Did you go to that game?
No. I've been to a league game at Bolton. I went to both Bolton. Ross might not know this, but Bolton used to play it somewhere else.
No.
Been to Burndon
No, I went
Park.
to
I've been to
I went
the Reebok. And I've actually got a picture of me signing a contract at the Reebok as well.
Yeah, Reebok's a nice stadium, but it's only half full. When
It's actually called the Tough Sheet Stadium now. So I suppose if they don't win, now they can just say, "Oh, Tough Sheet." Anyway,
well, I want a home draw.
You want home draw? I'd like home draw because
just keep us going.
I do like an away day, but yeah, I do like a home draw.
Away day in the third round when some of the bigger clubs come in.
Yeah, Man United away. Give them a double hammering.
Somebody a bit harder.
A bit more challenging. Yeah. So we'll cover off a little of the results. There's a few shocks so far as well. We'll cover them off quick, so we'll whiz through those. Luton Town 4, Forest Green 3. That was on Friday night, and I think it was pretty much shoo-in that Luton were going to win that, and then Forest Green came back, but then were let down in the last minute by a goal conceded. Did anybody watch it?
No.
Chelmsford 4, Braintree 1. Notice John Akindi's still playing in those lower leagues. Christ. What was he, about 47 now? Wimbledon 0, Gateshead 2, first shock of the round. In the
big shot for that.
That's a big shot, yeah. Barnsley 3, York 2. 90 plus 1 minute winner from Barnsley against York. So that was a nearly moment.
I think York were winning at one point as well.
Yes, they were. They went 1-0 up. Yeah.
1-0
Barnsley
up,
scored on the 30th minute, then went in front in 77, and then York equalised with 3 minutes to go and let one in 4 minutes later to lose.
Bad news. What?
Blackpool 1, Scunthorpe 0.
Oh no!
Hey.
Anyway,
Never mind.
That's a shame, isn't it?
Never mind. Bolton 2, Huddersfield 1. Boreham Wood 3, Crawley 0. They really up and down, aren't they, this year? Crawley mostly down. Bromley 1, Bristol Rovers 2. So Bromley get beaten at home at last. So it was an all-League 2 clash. All the goals from that game came in the last 14 minutes. Burton Albion 6, St Albans City 0. Did you see the St Albans mascot? Got escorted out the stadium because he was pissed. He was falling all over the audience. Yeah, he got taken out.
Well,
that was.
They were playing in Burton, were they? So they might have been to the
we
brewery.
went to the brewery before the game. Buxton 2, Chatham Town 1. Well done, Keith. If you're listening, watching, I'll send you a link. And if you don't click on it, you won't know what I've just said. So it was a bit irrelevant, really. Cambridge United.
Did you see that winning goal? Buxton's winning goal.
No,
you see it?
Kirby in the 414th minute.
Watch it. It's an absolute worldie.
If I find out
where
goal. It is, it will be showing right now.
Kirkby.
Yeah, in the 114th minute in extra time. Cambridge 3, Chester 0, routine win for them. Bit of a shock, another sort of mini shock. Cheltenham 1, Bradford 0. Hutchinson scored in the second minute.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw that, by the way.
So
there's a lot of controversy around that goal.
Is there?
Bradford, the referee blew his whistle twice as the free kick was coming in.
All right.
There's a long ball over top, and Hutchinson just got the head and it lobbed over the keeper.
I was saying it was uncontested header, wasn't it, pretty much?
Yeah, ref blew his whistle twice, and the Bradford City players just stood there, not knowing what's gone on, and he's counted the goal.
Yeah. Anyway,
I'm not really sure
never mind.
What's gone on.
As the Top Gear guys used to say, never mind. We can move on. Colchester 2, Milton Keynes 3, Crewe 1, Doncaster 2, Billy Sharp scoring again. Probably hit his Zimmer frame on the way in. And Fleetwood 2, Barnet 1, Town 3, Ebbsfleet 1, Halifax 0, Exeter 2. Then you've got Macclesfield 6, Tottenham 3. That was 3-3 at half time. So the Macclesfield experience told overtime. Mansfield 3, Harrogate 2. Newport 2, Gillingham 2. Newport won 4-3 on penalties. No doubt Gillingham fans will be really disappointed. And again, never mind. Oldham 3, Northampton 1. That's a good result for Oldham, that, against the higher league opposition. Yeah. Because they've been having some rough games. They were 2-0 up after
Mellon hat-trick.
2 minutes, yeah. Mickey Mellon's lad. Peterborough 1, Cardiff 0. Reading 2, Carlisle 3. Now, this was absolutely incredible. Reading were 2-0 up after 68 minutes and into the 90th minute. And then former Town target Regan Linney equalised in the 3rd minute of injury time, the 8th minute of injury time, and then the 94th minute. I don't know how that works. He scored in the 98th minute, but that's before the 94th minute goal. But I think we know what it means.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it's 90 plus 8 and 94. So in extra time, he scored the winner. So in essentially 4 playing minutes, he's scored 3 goals to win the game. So an unbelievable scoreline. Rotherham 1, Swindon 2. And they had Drinan, their striker, sent off in the 97th minute. So he'll miss a game. Salford 1, Lincoln 1, and then Salford 1 on pens. Slough 2, Altrincham 1, Spennymoor 0, Barrow 2, Stevenage 0, Chesterfield 1, Sutton 2, Telford 1, Tranmere 1, Stockport 3, Nathan Lowe again. Wealdstone winners 1-0 at Brundle Park last year, but beat Southend at home 1-0. Then you've got Weston-super-Mare 2, Aldershot 1, Wigan 1, Hemel Hempstead 1. That was a good result for Hemel Hempstead. They went out on penalties 5-3.
Went out, but
Wickham 2.
Wigan won the FA Cup recently, didn't they?
Yeah.
Not too distant.
Wickham 2, Plymouth 0, and Brackley Town 2, Notts County 2. And that was a penalty in the 96th minute to make it 2-2. After quite an unjust penalty in the 51st minute that Jody Jones converted. Player planted his foot about 2 or 3 feet in front of the keeper and then went over, stumbled, and a penalty. So I think justice done in that one. Ross, I think you text me that. Was it you that texted me that? So have you just seen
probably,
this? Yeah. Shocker. But justice done in the end, and 96-minute penalty. And did you think that was a pen?
Yeah. He's gone for a shot and he's put his arm out.
Yeah.
There's no need for him to be up there.
So his body, yeah, absolutely. And great scenes at Brackley. Not seen the final scores of any of the games today, but if you've got any updates, let me know on that scoreline. Steve mentioned something to me yesterday about the cup prize money that David Artell had said that we've earned more getting through the first round of the FA Cup than we did in the Carabao, which led me to look at that. Carabao prize money for getting through round 1 was £5,000. Round 2, £7,000, so £7,000 for beating Man United. £10,000 for beating Sheffield Wednesday, so that's sort of £22,000. Bear in mind we had a fine of £20,000. And round 4, had we beat Brentford, we'd have got £15,000. So we're at £22,000. We actually got from winning yesterday £22,629 for the first round win against Ebbsfleet. And then it goes up to 34,000 in the second round, 82,000 in the third round, 90 in the fourth, 180 in the fifth, and quarter-final winners get $350,000. Semi-final winners get $900,000, and the losers get $450,000, and the winners get $1.8 million, plus all the wins for the rounds as well. So, massive difference in order of magnitude difference in the prize money across the two competitions.
Massive difference, isn't it? It's like chalk and cheese, isn't it?
Yeah. When you mentioned it was that, and you told me yesterday, I thought I need to see how much because I can't understand why it would be that big. And it is.
So the winner of the Carabao, 100,000.
Yeah.
FA
Plus
Cup,
all the amounts
million.
for the wins as well. Yeah. So 100, 125, 140, 150, 160 grand for winning the thing.
That's it. David Artell said it in the interview, I thought no, he can't. That can't be right.
You get nearly as much as that getting to the third round as the FA Cup as you do for winning the Carabao. So, but it's amazing though. The Carabao has some great nights as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Not all about the money. Not all about the money.
It's all about money.
So that was an interesting note from yesterday. We've mentioned the resulties giveaway. Other news for town this week. Soonsup Bell has got a call up to the Thai national squad, which I now believe is accepted, and will be going off to play for the Thais. So that's good news for him, and we might even be able to get games called off now for a number of internationals going. May or may not help us. I'm not sure. Always
3 now, isn't it?
3, yeah. So it depends if they all go. The FA Cup. It's been the FA Cup week. We've talked about the draw tomorrow, Monday, if you're listening on a different day. Does the FA Cup still hold its magic? Was a question I had for you guys. Ross first. I think I know the answer to this one.
Yeah.
You like
I love the FA Cup.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, I get home or away. I love it. It speaks for itself. Yesterday, Gateshead beating Wimbledon, Brackley beating Notts. It's anything can happen. To be fair, we had Willstone last season.
Yeah, and we struggled yesterday for after 30 to 40 minutes of struggle against Ebbsfleet. Fair play to them. Yeah.
Oh no, the FA Cup. It gives teams from way down the pyramid a chance to go there, isn't it? And it's.
Bear in mind, some of the teams like Ebbsfleet have played 4 or 5 rounds before they get to us.
That's it, and it's a big day for them, isn't it? And it should. I think it lost a bit of its magic, if you like, the cup, but I think it's back now in the last sort of few years.
Yeah, I think for the fans of the teams like we follow, I think it certainly is. I think for some of the bigger teams, it's probably less so.
Do you two agree with no replays or not?
Not really. I like the fact that if you say get a small club that can then take a bigger club back to their place and make it a finance, but apparently the financial structure of the competition is better for them not having a replay and having more prize money, given the number of times it happens. But I think it's killed a little bit of the romance, yes. But it's probably not worse for the clubs, technically.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I initially I was against it all, but I think it's probably the right thing now. Looking back to Mike Brolly days, we had a replay, then we had another game, so 3 games.
Well, you should replay finals, didn't there?
Yeah,
remember the FA Cup when we was kids? FA Cup final replay.
I went to an FA Cup final, Man United Brighton,
Tuesday night.
83. No, I went to the first game.
All right, yeah, 2-2.
2-2.
And Smith must score.
Yeah, and then the replay was Tuesday night, and they won 4-0.
Yeah,
Man United.
Bruce Wilkins.
I went to the original game.
Bruce Wilkins. Ray Wilkins scored, didn't he?
Ray Wilkins scored a great goal. Yeah, but that 2-2, Brighton, they should have won in the last minute. And
Gordon Smith. Smith must score. Yeah, Bailey has saved it.
I was level with that. I was a Man U fan, so.
Yeah. And I think the other disappointing thing for me, and this is really petty, but when you look up the fixtures on the BBC, it's like past the Scottish Highland League before you get to the FA Cup, and you think, and down the women's internationals and all that, right down. I'm thinking, no, it should be
does my head in.
English football, Premier League. Women's team had a great win today in positive news, 3-0 at home to Notts County with a record crowd of over 500. Was it 561, something like that? Which is really, really positive. And I think it's really, really good. And it's the game's coming on now. Other football, we've not had anybody spill the chips this week. But there is other chip news with Rossi GTFC, sponsored by Pip's Chips. What's the scandal?
I need words with Pip, but to be fair.
What happened? What's the score, mate?
Well, they didn't do their homework, did they? They didn't realise we had a FA Cup first round fixture.
And so what did they do?
They went to seeing a show instead. So they shut Pip's Chips for the weekend.
So if you want to go and do a food review... If you want to go and do a food review on Pip's Chips, what are you going to do? You can't go. Come on, Pip. You need to be better. We'll have to get David Artell. Come on, be better. Come on.
Yeah, I pulled up and I was lost. I didn't really know where to go, what to do, or anything.
Oh dear. What a shame. But it's worth it because
I can't cheat on Pips.
We were gonna meet to have a catch up on before the game on Tuesday against Brentford, and we aborted because A, I couldn't park anywhere near, and B, if I had been able to, I don't think I'd have got anywhere near the counter, would I?
It was heaving. Fair play to them, to be fair. They must have sold quite a lot that Tuesday night because the queue was down the road. Which
says a lot about what the quality we're going to find when we do get to do a review, given that you can't get near the place. So well done, Pip's Chips, but there's always room for improvement, i.e. making sure you're open when town are at home. Thank you. I hope she doesn't hate me for this now. Sorry, Pip. I love you.
I still free cone gone.
Other football stuff I spotted this weekend. I'm quite a traditionalist when it comes to kit changes and all that stuff, and I hate teams changing the kits when they don't need to. But I also hate it when they change and the clash is probably worse than it would have been if they hadn't. And yesterday, West Brom against Wednesday at the Hawthorns, awful kit clash. Both wearing the same colour shorts, both wearing socks that, to the untrained eye on TV at least, was awful. I don't know why you can't get something that contrasts from your home kit. It's madness. You had a look, Ross? Did you get to see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've had a look, and it's my eyes go funny, and my eyes are funny anyway.
Yeah. But that's the point, is not everybody sees stuff that clearly. So at least if one team plays in black and the other's in white and blue, you've got a contrast. You can see the difference. It's like watching snooker in black and white, isn't it? For those of you in black and white, the blue is just behind the red.
Yeah.
Famous snooker commentary.
Yeah, I can remember watching a game recently. There was two teams playing both in stripes, and I think one was red. I can't remember the teams, like red stripes, and the other one was sort of blue stripes or something. But you could tell close up, but from a normal camera angle, I struggle to.
And I hate teams playing in the same colour shorts. Pisses me right off. By the by, apparently the only thing that is important is the sleeve colour. I mean, Fleetwood came last year in yellow and black stripes, black shorts, and black socks, or whatever it was. And I just thought it was awful. Anyway, by the by, hobby horse put down, and I'm back calm down. One other thing, and I'm not a massive fan of Premier League football per se, as a product. I happily watch it from now and again, but I can't follow it and get excited about it like I do Town and all that sort of stuff. But pretty impressive milestone for Mo Salah yesterday. He scored his 250th goal for Liverpool. That's going some, isn't it?
Yeah,
he's doing well. Doing well now. Obviously, he's had a bit of a rocky start of the season for Liverpool.
But just shows you, doesn't it? Quality persists, and he's got through his rough spot, and he's done well. But so I thought it was worthy of mentioning.
I think he's also broken a record. I think as well. Something to do with its most goal contributions in the Premier League. Wow. I think he's overtook Wayne Rooney now. I think. And
if only that sort of thing existed in Mike Brolly's day, he would have been the assist king, wouldn't he, Steve? Which leads me nicely into something that's been a privilege to have set up by Ross, our new fixer for the pod, guest fixer. The mere mention of Mike Brolly's name the other week, so I know Mike Brolly, I'll get him on. And lo and behold, after this short interlude, we'll have a chat with Mike Brolly. Looking forward to the chat, guys.
I am. Can't wait.
Definitely one of my heroes.
Boyhood heroes. They say you should never meet your heroes, but I think on this occasion, Steve will make an exception. Guys, anything else? Anything else from this week that we've not talked about, or you wanted to pick up on?
I think so. I think we've covered most of it.
Covered everything, I think.
Excellent. We'll have a short interlude, and then we'll speak to Mike Brolly.
This is TNT Sports' Adam Summerton, and you're listening to Three Fish on the Shirt.
This is John Sander. You're listening to Three Fish on the Shirt.
Right, welcome back after that short break. We've got our very special guest this week, Grimsby Town legend in his own lifetime, Mike Brolly. Welcome, Mike.
Well, Carl, hello, and thanks for inviting me.
You're very welcome, Mike. For those of you who don't know Mike, some of our younger viewers and listeners, Mike played for Town in the late 70s, early 80s. And was in the only team that Steve and I have ever seen who've won a league title, which was an absolutely fantastic journey in my Grimsby Town career in the first couple of seasons. And I know Steve's the same. So we're going to ask Mike a little bit about his career in football and reminisce about some of those fantastic years at Blundell Park, Mike, if that's okay with you.
Where do you want me to start?
Well, we obviously know the first we know about you is you going via Bristol City and Chelsea to us. Where did you start playing football? Where did you grow up, and where did you start playing football, and how did you get into that, being a professional?
I started playing football when I was at school, really, and I played for the local team in Gogson, a place called Gogson near Kilmarnock in Scotland.
Yeah.
And I started doing quite well with the sort of school team. And when we were in the primary school, we managed to win the sort of local cup for the first time. And I managed to score 2 goals. So we won 2-1. So I was pretty pleased with that, to be quite honest with you. From there, I started playing for Kilmarnock Amateurs. That was the sort of local youth team. And I just developed from there. We had a good team. We won a few cups there with Kilmarnock, and I think I went from there. I was scouted. I think we played a semi-final, and I was scouted to go to Chelsea. And there was a few other clubs I went for a summer. It was like what do you call it, a schoolboy futuristic summer holiday.
Yeah.
I spent some time at Chelsea. I spent some time at Ipswich, and I did a pre-season with Ipswich and Chelsea. And I don't think I've ever been as fit in my life, and certainly that was a grueling month or so.
A lot of running.
I was not just running. Weights was the thing that got me.
Right.
We did a weight session at Ipswich, and I'd never done weights before. And of course, all of us were trying to impress. We were all sort of youngsters there at the time. And I remember we completed our weight session, and we went to our bed that night. And then the next morning, I couldn't move my arms. I sort of just fell out of bed because my whole body was just like a tree trunk, to be quite honest with
you. Yeah.
So that was my first introduction to weights during football training, anyway.
Amazing. Yeah. So you settled at Chelsea. Settled on Chelsea as your first club then.
I settled at Chelsea. I had sort of 3 years there. I got into the first team, which was really pleasing for me, and I sort of finished the season off playing in the first team.
Then who was managing at Chelsea then, Mike? Who was managing Chelsea?
Again,
who was managing Chelsea then?
Dave Sexton was the manager there.
Yeah.
And I managed to get into the team towards the end of the season. Chelsea were sort of struggling to win games, to be quite honest with you. And I got in, and we played Tottenham. Was my first game.
Wow.
And we lost, I think, 2-1 that game, or 1-0. I know we'd lost in narrowly. And eventually we started winning, and the only sort of last game I remember was against Man United at Stamford Bridge. And it was actually Bobby Charlton's last match.
Wow, what a game to play in.
We beat them. Yeah, it was a good game to play in. And we actually won as well, which was an even better game to play. So
yeah, excellent.
That was a good way to finish that season.
Yeah.
The next season, I didn't get much of a chance to get into the team. So all the superstars were back, and it was sort of a hard, long slog. And probably the year after that, I left to go to Bristol City.
Mm. How did the move to Bristol come about? It's quite a move down the M4.
Well, I had been on trial at Bristol, and Chris Garland, who had come from Bristol City to Chelsea, had sort of mentioned my name to the manager at Bristol City again, and they invited me down, and I ended up going on a pre-season tour with them to Greece, and they signed me on, and I had quite a successful time there as well. We managed to win the championship there. It would be like getting into the Premier Division now.
Yeah.
It was the first division at that time, so we managed to win that. And again, I played quite a few games this season where we got promotion, but I didn't get a look in the next season, and that's when I ended up going to Grimsby.
Yeah, and again, when players move teams on the surface as fans, we just see, so and so's gone from there, signed to there. There's a lot of upheaval in the background, and you've moved from Kilmarnock to London to Bristol to Grimsby.
Yeah.
You couldn't have done anything a bit closer, could you? So how did the move to Grimsby come about?
Well, I think the manager was Tommy. Well, the manager was Tommy Casey.
Yeah.
and he was looking for players, and he signed us. And I came up, and I think the first game was against Brighton, so we won that 3-1, I believe. I think there was another player from Bristol on loan as well with me.
Yeah.
So we actually played our first game for Grimsby, and we won 3-1. At Grimsby at that time, we had Joe Waters and sort of young players, Nigel Batch. So we were all sort of the same age and all sort of thirsting for first team games. So we managed to form a really good gel, and basically we went on to success at Grimsby.
And really, the success sort of started with John Newman's team, and he brought a lot of the young lads who played together in Grimsby together.
That's
so
right.
The Moore brothers, Tony Ford, Kevin Drinkle, and all them. You ended up in that team, didn't you?
We ended up with sort of some good youngsters coming in from the local area. Like you mentioned, the Moore brothers, Kevin Drinkle. These all just gelled into the team that we had, and we just gelled as a team and went from success to success, to be quite honest with you.
And in that first season that Steve and I followed Town, 1978 was John Newman's last season before he went off to Derby. And he got you promoted, or you got him promoted, whichever way you look at it. And then you went on through to the next season with George Kerr, who'd been John's assistant, and basically won the league first time of asking, which was a phenomenal achievement.
I've been pretty lucky, the fact that the teams that I've been successful with, we've always had one thing, and that is a really good team spirit and people sort of playing for each other. And certainly the John Newman and George Kerr instilled that in us. And we would run high and low for each other and basically do as much as we could to win games. And as I said, when John left, we got the promotion with George Kerr. And I can still remember that season. We had a really successful season that year. And I think the last game was against Sheffield United, and we ended up winning that. And the atmosphere was just superb.
Phenomenal season.
4-0.
Yeah.
It was 4-0, yeah, that's right. I think it was 4-0 or 4-1, yeah.
Drinkle hat-trick. Joe Waters got the...
Yeah. It was just a phenomenal way to end that season.
So was the switch over from John Newman to George Kerr quite a smooth transition? Because George had been the assistant, hadn't he?
Yeah, it was a very smooth transition. John and George had worked very closely together anyway. And so it really was a smooth transition from John to George, to be quite honest with you. George took the training sessions, John took the training sessions as well. So the two of them were always there at the training ground. So, there wasn't much change when George took over, to be quite honest with you.
We spoke to Dave Moore last year, and he said the only thing was I stopped calling him George and started calling him Gaffer. But he said it was, like you said, the team spirit was excellent. At the start of that season, did you imagine you could have gone on and won that league? Because it's quite a big ask to go from one league, go up and then win, or did it just sort of come about in the season?
Well, I think we had a good pre-season, and we knew we had good players in our ranks, and the young players who had come in as well were starting to gel with the rest of the team. So we knew we had the basis and the nucleus of a really strong and powerful team, to be quite honest with you. And like Nigel and Joe and I, we had played in the sort of top division as well. So we were well schooled in sort of that type of football, to be quite honest with you. Yeah. And also Gary Liddell, I don't know if you remember Gary.
I do remember Gary.
But Gary had come from Leeds, yeah, that's right. And there was quite a few players that come from higher divisions, and we just sort of gelled together as well. And the youngsters just bonded to that sort of environment, and they excelled in themselves, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, I wanted to mention the one memory I've got of Gary Liddell is in the League Cup run, which we'll come to from that very season.
Yeah.
The third round played Notts County at home, one that George Kerr remembers really strongly because of the minute silence for Paddy Hamilton that night. And I remember Gary Liddell at the Osmond end A ball came in from the right, probably from one of your crosses, but I can't remember that much level of detail.
I must have.
And he controlled it with the most blatant handball I've ever seen, and then just tapped it in. Not disallowed. I thought, oh, it's brilliant. But that's an abiding memory of Gary Liddell.
That's a good job VAR wasn't about then.
Exactly, yeah. So there was some really good, strong teams in that league that year. You had Wednesday, Sheffield United, Barnsley, and all. There's lots of big local derbies and stuff like that, and we were getting sort of 14,000, 15,000 in every week. 19,000 for the Sheffield United game at the end of the season. What was the atmosphere like to playing in them games? Because I mean, Blundell Park's a special place at the best of times. When we had the Man United game recently and what have you, the atmosphere is absolutely electric because it's so tight. But in those sort of days, you didn't have the big stand. Everything was quite compact. What was it like?
It was just a great atmosphere. You could cut the atmosphere with a knife. Sort of 3 games I remember which were like that. One was a Derby versus Nottingham Forest Derby I played in as it was Brian Clough and Peter Taylor were in opposite dugouts there. That was a phenomenal atmosphere there as well. The Everton game, which you probably remember as well.
We don't remember that one. I can't think.
No, I didn't think so.
No, we can. I'm kidding you. We'll come to that again.
There was that game. There was the Wolverhampton game where we drew at Blundell Park. I think we had capacity crowds for all of those sort of games, and the atmosphere was just electric. And you just couldn't wait to get out and play on the field, to be quite honest with you.
No, and that I remember that. Steve, you'll remember that atmosphere. Was you a 12-year-old? I was 10. Steve was 12.
Well, I was 12. Yeah, it was sort of etched on my memory. Them games, what the Wolves, the Everton game, obviously. And you just can't believe there was 20,000.
That's right. You would never have guessed you'd got 22,000 into the ground, but they were all there.
I was still on my box in the pontoon. my dad holding on to me, making sure.
And something I remember that I mentioned to Steve yesterday as we were talking about doing this, and we were talking about that game because it was 46 years ago as Friday, the Everton game, Mike.
Somebody texted me just to remind me about it.
Yeah.
Just made me feel really young as well, and said he was standing in a box with his dad as well. Funnily enough.
Well, so... it's happening to us as well now, Mike, because you're a young man you met at school, Ross, and we'll ask you about how he was at school later. Keeps reminding us that he can't remember games that we talk about. So you've set him back on.
One of the first things that was one of the first things he told me, that I don't remember those sort of games. I don't remember you playing them.
Well, funnily enough, in a previous episode, we mentioned you because of the League Cup games, and we were talking about getting to the 4th round of the League Cup and all that. And I mentioned his name and the 2 goals and all the rest of it. And he said, "Oh, he used to teach me at school." And that was how we kind of then started talking about getting you on. So that's brilliant. But in those games against some big games, in those days, we as young lads didn't get to see goals unless we were at the match. You didn't see them, so we went to some of the big games there. But there are still a few YouTube clips of some smashing goals that you've got there. So I remember one against Barnsley particularly. Now they were always a big atmosphere. Free kick against Barnsley.
That was a good atmosphere.
I
remember that kick, well, to be quite honest with you.
Tony Ford.
I think we won 1-0.
Yeah, that was the winner, yeah. Tony Ford gets taken out on the edge of the box by 2 Barnsley defenders. Yeah. You stand over the ball with Joe and someone else, and then it's quite clear you're going to kick it. And it was always great to get one over on the Yorkies. So a bank holiday weekend winner at Oakwell was fantastic. They must have been great memories. Do you still think about that?
Was a very good memory, yeah. And it was quite funny because John Fraser, who was a
physio, he's in some of the footage we've got after Everton.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's in.
Well, after that game, John basically must have been celebrating, but he didn't go on the team bus and we didn't know he hadn't got on the team bus until we arrived back in Grimsby.
So you left him behind?
He's left in Barnsley, yeah.
What a place to leave him.
The only bloke from Grimsby left in
managed
Barnsley.
to survive, yeah. So, yeah, that was a sort of funny end to that sort of game. So, yeah, I remember it well.
Yeah, that's fantastic, and it's a fantastic goal as well. And again, when I remember back to the season before that, there's a time when we appeared on Match of the Day, which is a bit of a rarity for the teams in the lower divisions. And we were also on the radio in the day, actually, because I remember it being odd. I was out with my dad cleaning the car, and Grimsby were on Radio 2, I think it was at the time, who did the sports report and all that stuff.
They've lost the last 5 on the trot. 1 or 2 familiar names there, including Mike Brolly, who started at Chelsea and then went on to Bristol City before coming to Grimsby Town. And a curious fact this afternoon...
And Town were on, I thought it was really strange. Anyway, it was on Match of the Day. A 3-1 away win at Portsmouth with Fordy getting a couple and you scoring in between.
That's right,
and again, that was the season we went up from Division 4.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good victory down there because Portsmouth are usually quite difficult to beat in their own area. So winning was really good, and we were on Match of the Day. I remember that.
Yeah. Very rare to get on that. And again, for us, we didn't see away games unless we went, and I was a bit young to go to away games.
Yeah, I remember that game as well. You always remember your goals.
Yeah.
The games where you score. So yeah, that was one where I can remember just sort of side footing into the corner.
We recalled a great piece on Match of the Day where Dave Moore scored the best goal of his career on Match of the Day when he was playing for Blackpool. And he said to us he scored so few goals he could remember the goals he scored in training. So we had a good chat with him on that.
Yeah, I can imagine.
coming back to the fantastic league season, which was fairly steady at the start, and it began to sort of appear into the sort of 1980 part of the back end of the season that we were in with a chance. We were up there, and the results just started flowing, didn't they? And it just became unbeatable towards the end of the season.
It just felt like that. I remember we went from Saturday to Wednesday to Saturday to Wednesday with sort of consecutive games. And I think John Stone, he was on the back end of a thumping. We actually played
Darlington 7-2.
Yeah, and he was on a thumping that night.
Yeah.
And then we were going from scoring 6, scoring 7, scoring 6, scoring 5. And we just had a phenomenal run of games at that particular time.
Beat Bradford and Darlington in the same week, 7-2 and 5-1 in consecutive home games.
That's right, yeah, that's right. We just kept winning. And it's like everything else. You get into the habit of winning, you just want to play more and you want the games to come fast and furious so you can actually get out in the field again. And as I say, that's what was happening.
Back a few years ago, I was involved on Radio Humberside in the remembering of the 40 years since we'd won the title. It was on the same day as Hull Kingston Rovers had won in the Challenge Cup trophy. And they had a bit of a thing on. George was on, Kev Drinkle was on. And I'd sort of done a little bit of reading up to remember 1 or 2 bits. And the thing I noticed from looking back at the list of games that used to be in the programme with the names of who'd played, how few changes there were. You know, there's no squad rotation in them days. You guys went out every week, probably injured sometimes. How do you look at and compare with sort of today and think, these guys get rotated? How do we manage?
Well, my own personal opinion is that if the team is winning, keep the same team.
Yeah.
I think that is one of our strengths, that we actually had the same team. So you know how players play and you know where they are going to be, even without looking for them. You just had the instinct that they were going to be where you were going to play the ball to. So at times, I know with Gary playing up front, I didn't have to look where Gary was. I knew exactly where he would be if I was in a tight situation. So you could play the ball first time and he would inevitably get it.
So rather than looking for the player, you can think,
that's right,
I know where I need to put it. That's one less thing to think about.
That's right. And it also speeds your game up and also makes the team more fluent as well. And I think that was a big help, the fact that we had very few changes that season. We were very lucky. We had people who just would get fit or just wanted to play.
Yeah.
And that was a really good part about it.
And you say you were playing Saturday, Tuesday, and a lot of that was because of not only were you playing well in the league, you were also doing well in the cup. So in the FA
right.
Cup, you got through to the third round, and in early January 1980, played at Anfield with 49,000 in, 17,000 of which came from Grimsby. What was that like as an experience?
That was a great experience. And the only disappointment was that we didn't actually win, to be quite honest with you. Liverpool were the European champions at that time.
It was the cream of Liverpool, wasn't it, as well?
That's right. You had Kenny Dalglish and all the players who actually
Terry
won.
McDermott, Dave Johnston.
Yeah,
that's
right. And I think the first 10 minutes we played really well. I think Kevin Kilmore had a chance early on. And I think he hit the corner flag. I don't know whether he lost his
the corner flag. Yeah.
He lost his composure, which is unlike Kevin, to be quite honest with you. But we had a couple of chances early on, and if we'd have taken those chances, I think it might have been a different game. But as it turned out, it was quite a thumping we got. So we were humbled at that time, to be quite honest with you.
But no shame in losing to a team like that. I mean, you've got to say if you're going to get the chance to play.
There is always a shame in losing to a team. I just hate losing, to be quite honest with you. I know they were European champions, but we just felt awful that we hadn't performed that day, to be quite honest with you.
Well, I don't think anybody, any Town fans went away with any shame that we'd been beaten by that particular side.
Well, the fans were superb.
They were amazing.
And even the Liverpool fans were applauding, and they appreciated the fact that the support had come all the way to Anfield and were supporting the team. So they applauded the two teams, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, and interspersed with that, obviously got the League Cup, which is going on at the same time as the first early rounds of the FA Cup. He beat Scunthorpe, Huddersfield, Notts County, the game I've already mentioned. 3-1 at Blundell Park to set up a tie on Halloween evening with Everton at home. And I was joking earlier when we said we couldn't remember that game. That was actually the game where we started talking about you a couple of weeks ago. And Everton roll into town with George Wood, Mike Lyons, John Bailey, Bob Latchford, all them sort of players. And as you say, we've already mentioned the electric atmosphere. The
atmosphere was superb that night.
Yeah.
The atmosphere was superb. We were all buzzing in the dressing room, to be quite honest with you. We just couldn't wait to get out. I think we'd gone out for a sort of warm up about 15 minutes before the game started. And the hair on the back of your neck just bristled with excitement. You just couldn't wait to actually get out in the game.
I think that's probably the earliest I've ever been to in the ground to get stood where I needed to with my dad. It was that sort of night. But I remember getting the ticket, and it was like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory getting the golden ticket. Honestly, as a 10-year-old lad, that ticket was everything to me. Did you have that feeling, Steve, when you got your ticket for the match?
Oh yeah, definitely. I couldn't wait to get there. I couldn't believe it. I think I was doing a paper round with me girlfriend at the time, who was my wife now, and I met her that long ago. But she was doing it all, and she was doing. I was like, oh yeah, we've got a match to go to, and I couldn't wait to get there with my dad. It was brilliant night that.
And
I remember it now.
And we went 1-0 down to middle of the first half goal from Brian Kidd, who'd been everywhere, hadn't he?
That's right,
So these are the sort of players you're up against. Did that spur you on, or was it a disappointment? How did that feel during the game?
It was a bit of a disappointment, to be honest with you, but we just felt that we could win that night. I don't know what it was about that night. The fans were behind us, and as I say, the atmosphere was just electric.
Yeah.
And even though we went 1-0 down, I always felt that we could get something out of this game.
Yeah.
And as I said, we got two chances and managed to take them, and before you knew it, we actually had won the game.
It turned around really quickly, didn't it? End of the first half. the ball's bobbling around at the edge of the box, and I think on the TV commentary they referred to it as a snapshot. It was quite you got hold of it well, didn't you? And
well, I brought it down. I brought it down with my right foot. I can remember that.
Yeah.
And I remember I thought I'm going to hit this.
Yeah.
And I just hit it with my left foot, and it just flew into the top of the net. To be quite honest with you,
George Wood in goal had no chance, and
yeah.
with you know, I mean, I was right behind that. I was in the Osman stand. And in the day, the Osman was standing in the front, and there was a wall, and then seating at the back. And I don't think it happened nowadays, but behind me were 500 Everton fans, and they were brilliant. They were absolutely brilliant. For, you know, at the end of the game, they ruffled me hair and said, "Well done, son," you know. And all that. So it was really, really fond memories of football how it should be. And then,
that's brilliant. That's great.
And then just a few minutes later, I think it's literally the stroke of half time, just before. You got the ball in the box. You take on John Bailey, I think it is, on the right at the right back spot. And was your mind to go for goal, or was you just trying to get it in the middle? Or
I was just trying to get a shot on target. To be quite honest with you,
we did that definitely.
And I think it actually it was like a slow motion type thing that sometimes you get. It hit the sort of Soli's boot, and it took it past the keeper's hands.
Yeah.
His hands were sort of stretching to try and get it, and it just managed to sort of slightly hit the defender's boot, and it just took it into the near post. And I think that's what
it stayed low, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
And George Wood couldn't get down to it, and I think it's probably a goal in all my sort of time watching them, which was very few games. It was early on in me watching town. It was probably the first goal I'd seen from a tight angle. It was one of those, like, how's he scored from there? That's amazing, you know. And
when I think about it, I think the same thing as well. To be quite honest with you, you don't score many from that sort of angle. To be quite honest,
and the rest of the game was goalless, and we went on to win. And that was just a great night at Blundell Park.
I thought we actually went on from strength to strength. To be quite honest with you, I felt that we maybe could have got one or two more goals.
Yeah.
That was my own feeling in the game. To be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
You're testing my memory here, so
yeah. I can't. I mean, again, detail. I mean, the goals I can remember like it was yesterday. The detail of the rest of the games are pretty sparse, but no, it was a fantastic night. And I'll say I used to go to the match with my dad at that time, week in, week out. My dad's no longer with us, and there's a real sort of sense of something positive to think back about. Something that I did with him, you know, and I still feel.
There was a community thing as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know at that time we were visiting sort of local factories and workplaces and things like that, and it was great just to see how important town meant to the people of Grimsby.
Yeah.
That was the first time I sort of really appreciated that, and to win that night as well, they were buzzing. I think we visited a couple of places the next week as well, and they were buzzing all over the place. In fact, I think somebody mentioned the fact that when we won, the productivity the next day had increased by about 10 to 15%.
Wow!
So that was in the factory. So that just shows you how well people were.
Yeah.
What about the two goals then? I've got to ask you. They were totally different in their ways, really. Let's talk about the first one.
The first one, I think it was a header. I caught it, got it down, like, turned and hit it. Next thing I knew, it was in the back of the net, like, and everybody was round me. That's all I knew about it.
I thought it was going to roll to Bobby Mitchell, actually.
Yeah, I saw the player's foot, like, but I thought, I've got to hit it, because I was just swivelling nicely, and as it happened, I just hit it well. It flew in the net.
And we went on to the fifth round, got another home draw with Wolves, and it was kind of a similar night, really, on the evening. It was a hell of a game. It was probably one of the most entertaining 0-0 draws I've ever seen. Kevin Moore at the underside of the bar, which was probably the closest.
That's right. I thought we were going to win at that time when he hit the bar, and it just showed you what a couple of inches just makes all the difference.
Yeah.
And
again, you're up against players like Andy Gray in that
I remember Andy Gray playing.
George Berry.
Andy Gray.
Yeah, that's right.
Mark Chamberlain, people like that. It was quite a team. And it took them to
it's
three.
Quite funny because Andy Gray and I played with the Scotland under-18 team.
Yeah.
So he actually said, "God, we got off the hook there."
Yeah.
He actually said that to me that night, I think.
But you managed to get a replay at Wolves, and you drew 1-1 there. I think Andy Gray scored for them. Gary Liddell scored for us, so it was a night of Scots scoring, because Gary Liddell was a Scot as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, and George has never forgiven me for me hitting the crossbar that night.
He hit the crossbar that night as well, yeah.
I hit the crossbar that night.
Dear.
Again, it was a sort of snapshot, and it come flying off the crossbar.
Oh, no.
It could have quite easily have gone in underneath it, but as luck was to be, it just didn't.
So taking the big boys on to in their own patch and still not beating you.
No, they
had a rarity then of a third match at a neutral venue, which was unusual.
Second replay,
yeah.
Second replay at Derby.
Right? Yeah, that's right. What would Klopp have said? He'd be doing his nut, wouldn't he, of all these games? Yeah, where are all these games coming from? So Derby, that foreshadowing the future of your a place you'd go on to play later on in your career. That was a bit of a disappointing night, but kind of the end of the road for the League Cup campaign.
It was even more disappointing because I think if VAR had been there on that night, they would have seen that wasn't a penalty that the referee gave against us.
Yeah.
I think whoever was going to score the first goal that night was going to win the game.
Yeah.
It was that sort of game, like we were battling it out all over the pitch.
Yeah.
And there was I think the incident was he was fouled before he actually got into the box, and he fell in the box or something. I think that's how that's what I'm going to say anyway. But it was never a penalty, and that just turned the whole game. And then we lost the second one.
I suppose
and
but to take, I think they won it. They won the competition in the finishing.
That's right. They went 21.
So
it was disappointing.
Yeah, but you then took that success of that competition and went on and finished the season in style, and some great TV moments from, I think, Gillingham at home was on TV in the sort of ITV version of Match of the Day. There was a Millwall game where Kevin Drinkle scored a fantastic goal, which you were playing in against Millwall. That was a fantastic game. And just every weekend was like that, pretty much to the end of the season. And
as I say, we had a really good team spirit. We ran for each other. We did everything we could to help each other out. And when you've got a team spirit like that, you have the makings of a good team.
And he clinched promotion in the last away game of the season at Mansfield, 0-0 draw.
Oh,
and then, followed it up against Sheffield United on the following Saturday with a 4-0 thumping of Sheffield United with a Kevin Drinkle hat-trick.
Played well. He played well that day as well. Took his goals well.
Yeah, and you got a fair few goals yourself, but did you count assist stats in them days? Because I think you'd have been counted as one of the high assisters in the day if we had been counting.
Well, thank you. I prefer scoring goals, to be quite honest with you, but assists are good as well.
You must have created a good few from wide positions.
I think so. Yeah. As I say, you're testing me today.
Well, one of the things I also sorry, Steve, go on.
I said I don't think they were called assists.
No, we didn't. There was no such thing, was there?
I think you got set up.
You got set up. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
Cross came in, or basically that was it. Yeah.
You'd be a great setter.
Yeah.
You did get a good few goals. 27 goals for Grimsby in 254 appearances. It was Town you played most of your games for. You did go on to play for Derby and Scunthorpe. We won't say too much about
that. No, I noticed.
We won't hold it against you.
After that one,
we won't hold it against you. You had more than enough credit in the bank with us. But 27 goals is a decent return in those few years. And
I would have preferred more, to be quite honest.
We'd all take more. We'd have accepted them, Mike. So when you came to finish, how did the move to Derby come about? What was the circumstances there?
George had been sacked that year.
So when Dave Booth came in after that, didn't he?
Dave Booth came in. And I think there was contractual talks going on between a few of us.
Dave Moore mentioned this. Dave Moore mentioned
yes.
They were trying to make sure they kept everybody's contract, pay you a bit less, but give you a bit more bonus and try and
they were
trading.
trying to reduce. That's right. They were trying to reduce what you were being paid, and some of us weren't happy with that. To be quite honest with you,
and Dave went,
and that's how it came about.
Yeah, Dave went, and you went to Derby and played.
That's right.
40 odd games for Derby in 82, 83. And you did pretty well there. I've not seen much of it, but seen a few clips on YouTube. What are your memories of the baseball ground?
Great place to play. John Newman was the manager there, and John, I think he was actually replaced by Peter Taylor.
Right.
But as I say, the crowd there are very appreciative of football. They know their football inside out, just like the Grimsby crowd, who actually go to the games, know their football as well.
Yeah.
So they appreciated good football when they saw it. And as I said, that was the only other place that had an atmosphere that resembled that Everton Grimsby game, to be quite honest with you.
What sort of players did you play with at Derby? Who of note would you have played with at Derby that we would know?
I was hoping you wouldn't ask me that question.
I didn't know if you brushed over with Archie Gemmell when he went to Derby. Or was
Archie Gemmell came in.
Yeah,
that's right. He came in halfway through the season, I think. Peter Taylor brought him in.
But Bobby Davison was Davison before.
Bobby Davison was centre forward. Yeah, that's right.
He started banging goals in for fun, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Bobby came from Bradford, I believe.
Yeah.
My memory serves me right. Yeah. And he started banging the goals in as well.
Yeah.
So I'll give him a few assists as well. So
brilliant.
I'll accept that.
and then you had you stayed in the area because you came back to Scunthorpe. Came back into this area to Scunthorpe. Played nearly 100 games. Never moved.
I never actually moved. Right. We were about to move to Derby, but Scunthorpe came in for us, and I went to Scunthorpe. I sort of travelled every day to Derby, and I stayed overnight. Sort of George Foster, who was the centre half there, sort of stayed there at the weekend, sort of Friday night, and played the game the Saturday, and then came back.
This is all the stuff fans don't see. You know, you don't see that a lot of people, and it's one of the things from the era. Grimsby might seem a sort of grim place to a lot of people, but there's quite a few people stayed in the area from your era that had come from away.
Well, I think when I first moved here, I thought I might only be here 3 years maximum.
Yeah,
I've been here about 40 odd years, 50, almost 50 years. My family have grown up here. It's a great place to live and bring up your family, to be quite honest with you. And I have no qualms about living here. We've thoroughly enjoyed our time here.
And have you been back to Blundell Park many times in the last few years?
Not as many as I should, to be quite honest with you. I was up in Scotland when they played Man United.
Yeah.
And my son texts me and says, Grimsby have just beaten Man United. I didn't know if my son was pulling my leg or not. Right. So I sent, tell me pull the other one.
Yeah.
And then he told me it was something like 12-11. And I thought he was really pulling my leg then. And then I sort of looked up myself just to check, and they'd won in penalties.
Yeah.
And he was right. So I had to send an apology to him to actually say, sorry about that. I'm sorry for not believing you, to be quite honest.
It was probably the closest we've been, Steve, isn't it, to recreating that Everton night? But
everybody I've spoken to, they said it was electric. Yeah. The atmosphere was absolutely electric.
Yeah.
I've never known an atmosphere like it. I came out of that game and my ears were ringing, and like you'd been to a concert. And next day there was the same. I've never known noise like it.
That's great. That's really good if you go to a game like that.
But it makes you wonder what it really was like with the 22,000 in, because as young'uns we would have been probably a little bit overwhelmed by it, wouldn't we?
Yeah, I think I was.
And Mike, now really want to get to the important question. What was Ross like at school?
Ross was he was a superb pupil, never put a foot wrong. Did everything he was asked to do. Prime example of a good pupil.
Oh, there you go. Ross, how much did you been around dropping some envelopes on this week?
You give me your season ticket?
No, it's,
I haven't got a season ticket myself either.
We've been going for a few years.
Do you still go? Have you got season tickets?
Yeah,
Do you still go?
Steve and I worked together when we were younger. And sat in more or less the same place in the pontoon.
Right.
I had a year or two where I didn't go so regular with having a young family and what have you. Then when I started going back again, I went back to the same sort of area, and I now sit alongside Steve. And while we were sat together, we got talking about doing this, and that's what we've done. And Ross has joined us this season for a bit of support as well, for somebody else to do this with. And we're pleased he has, because it's linked us to you.
Yeah, I didn't know Ross was a Grimsby Town supporter, to be quite honest with you.
Well, there's a story behind that. It could quite easily have been Lincoln, couldn't you, Ross?
I could have been, yeah. I was born in Lincoln. My family and friends have usually support Lincoln from that area. It was only because my granddad, that I'm a Mariner, took me to my first game. Took me to my first game in 2004, and it's been stuck ever since, really.
And his granddad says, "Well, you should have seen Mike Brolly play here."
You should have seen Mike Brolly. I used to love you taking corners.
Well, do you know what it is about your corners, Mike? I remember you had a real, I won't call it strange, because it wasn't strange. It was elegant, like swing of your arms as you took a corner. And I don't know if that was a kind of a deliberate thing or whether it was just your bodily style, but there was this real sort of nothing like this, by the way. But your arms seem to swing out.
I don't want you to take anything away from Arsenal, but George had us sort of practicing corners, and we had a set routine actually for every corner, and it was all depended on my signal, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah.
But it was going to be the same corner anyway.
Yeah.
That's right. So it was going to be aimed for the penalty spot.
Yeah.
And you had Kevin Moore, Jeff Barker,
Drinkle,
Bob everybody
Cumming.
Flying in from there. So you just had to actually aim it for that spot, and you knew one of our players was going to be on the end of it.
Yeah, but very, very elegant it was, as I remember.
Clive Wigginton as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Clive.
I forgot about Clive.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's absolutely superb memories, and like I say, I at this time of year, particularly when it gets to the sort of anniversaries of the games and the League Cup rounds come around, I think back to that season and then remember we won the title as well. It's almost like unbelievable time to be a Town fan.
I was very lucky, and I'm very fortunate to have been in the team at that time, and I was there with some great players as well from all over the place, and they're still friends, and we still see each other, and we still acknowledge each other. Unfortunately, there's a few of them have died, so that's the sort of sad part about it.
Yeah.
Gary was a big loss, and I think Jeff Barker as well.
Recently,
So
I hear Clive's not so well these days. He's suffering a bit. Isn't he?
Sorry to hear that.
I think he's suffering from dementia a bit as well. So.
Oh dear, I know Dave Boylan was as well.
He was seen at London
sorry
Park
to hear
a lot.
as well.
And you could see Dave, even though he was struggling. Blundell Park was his happy place. You've seen that, Steve. He was all waving to the crowd, wasn't he, when he come past? And,
he was. Yeah,
good for him. That's great.
Yeah, things move on, don't they? Time marches on.
They certainly do.
When we were idolising you, Mike, you were a 29-year-old, and as a 10-year-old. As a 10-year-old,
listening to this, Ross.
a 29-year-old is ancient. So,
and I had hair as well, so that was the other thing.
Yeah.
I was told about that yesterday.
Yeah. Hair and beard was the thing I remember. That. I was imagined you were older because of that. Because at 10-year-old, a bloke with long hair, you had quite a flowing locks at one point. And a beard.
I was trying to save it, but wasn't successful.
Yeah, you did all right for a little while. We'll do our best. Mike, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you on. Sorry, we've sent Ross badgering you for the week.
No.
But it's absolutely been worth it. I'm sure Steve.
Ross has been absolutely brilliant with me, to be quite honest with you. He told me that he had problems with Teams as well, so that reassured me.
Mike,
because I hadn't used it for about 2 or 3 years, to be quite honest.
Deal with it every day, and it does what it wants to do. And like I say, we got there in the end. That's the main thing. And
we did.
It's been an absolute
that's right.
pleasure for us, Steve. I'm sure you're the same.
Yeah, I've loved it. Yeah. Loved it.
It's been a pleasure talking to you, to be quite honest with you, and I've got full of admiration that you have this sort of podcast, to be quite honest with you.
It's lovely we can
That's
do
great.
it. I
really good. Yeah.
started doing it in my mid-50s, and you think it makes you feel like a kid again, which is we all need something, don't we?
Well,
it brings back memories for everybody.
Yeah,
it does.
We hope that bringing back some memories has given you a bit of pleasure this evening as well, Mike.
Well, you've certainly brought back a lot of memories, to be quite honest with you. And you've jogged my memory bank, to be quite honest.
You'll sleep well tonight.
It's been good. I will.
Mike,
I'll be dreaming of all those goals you're talking about. Too,
can you get a few more in the dreams as well, since you wanted to score more? Good on you, Mike.
I'll probably have some extra ones.
Yeah. Get some extra
Well, thanks
ones.
very much again.
You're welcome.
Yep.
You take care.
Okay, thanks very much.
Cheers.
Take care.
This is TNT Sports' Adam Summerton, and you're listening to Three Fish on the Shirt.
Right, chaps, great interview with Mike Brolly there. Did you enjoy that?
Yeah, it was interesting to hear from someone that I grew up with as a
You kept really
as a
quiet.
teacher.
I reckon you were just making sure he was going to say nice things about you.
Yeah,
And he
I
did.
grew up as a teacher, but obviously I never saw him play. I wasn't born back then, but it was nice to hear stories.
There he goes again, Steve. Age is a protected characteristic, you know. Well, have we got HR, Steve, in the Three Fish pod? Anywhere.
I'm HR.
Oh, yeah, he's HR.
Yeah.
It's funny though, because obviously he was Mike was on about him being 29 when all that's going on. I'm 29 in January.
Yeah.
So it's like he's done that, and I'm doing this at the same kind of age. So yeah. It's funny.
You look like him as well.
Yeah, I got no hair.
Yeah. Mike Brolly suddenly becomes a legend in our lifetime. Anyway,
I thought it was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah,
Mike Brolly.
and I mean, for us, put it in context for us. It's a team that won the championship in our second season watching Town, and we've never won a championship since. So it's great days remembered, and throughout this episode you'll have seen a few clips kicking in and out, and it was an absolute pleasure. So well done, Ross, for getting that sorted for us. And
pleasure.
On that note, we've discussed everything else I think from this week. It's been a busy one. We'll say cheerio, and on that bombshell, as always, I'll get my echo on. Up the Mariners!
Up the Mariners!
Not the Mariners.
Well, that's a wrap for this week's Three Fish on the Shirt, your ultimate Grimsby Town podcast. Thanks for tuning in and being part of our community, whether you're watching on YouTube or listening on Apple Podcast, through Amazon, Audible, Spotify, iHeartRadio or Podchaser, or anywhere else you get your podcasts from. If you're loving what we're doing and want more match analyses, in-depth discussions, exclusive interviews, then just hit subscribe. It's completely free, and it helps us grow to bring you even better content, and it keeps that Mariners conversation alive. If you want to listen on the go, just ask your smart speaker to search for Three Fish on the Shirt, Grimsby Town Podcast, or find us at any of the podcast locations we've already mentioned. Drop a comment, leave a review, and share the pod with fellow Mariners, because football's always better when we talk about it together. Until next time, up the Mariners!